Ginger's Man Club contains offensive language, adult themes, and life stories. If you are offended by any of these, please don't continue. Press the stop button. If you do continue, we can't be held responsible. We did warn you. Welcome to Ginger's Man Club, where Adam and Daniel talk about life issues, past memories, and Daniel mentioning breasts a lot. Join us with a choice of beverage to discuss the issues that mean the most, well, to us anyway. Interact with us on the usual socials and enjoy the show. Well, here we are.
Oh,
Lads.
two gingers.
Two gingers, haven't we? With cups of tea.
Oh yeah, it's a bit of tea.
Yeah, but I bet your tea's better than mine.
Oh, well, I don't know. Well, this is no 2 pints of lager type podcast, but it's two gingers. One's definitely more bearded than the other one. Looks a lot older than the other.
Does that mean that I'm Johnny and you're... Well, it's not Johnny, is it? It's Ralph Little.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that would be the case then, wouldn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, the poor bastards out there, they're not listening to this on the first mention.
For those that are listening for the first time, yes, this is the first show. So, and
welcome on board.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a palaver getting this far. What's it? 2:05 in the evening, and we're just starting our first podcast.
It's taken us 2 hours to get.
Oh yeah.
3 podcast programs.
Technology at its finest.
Next, it was going to be using a rather large cup and a large bit of string.
I think it would have worked better, wouldn't it? At least I sound better now, anyway. But for those that don't realise, trying to use other software, I was sounding like a chipmunk.
You sounded like you'd sucked off a helium balloon.
Oh yeah, well there was that as well. So it was highly amusing for my co-host here.
I'm not going to lie, I was hysterically laughing.
It was good. So
there was 3 of us on here earlier, and
yeah, he's disappeared.
Disappeared, the poor lad. He's done a bit too much decorating, and he's decided to piss off.
Fat bastard.
Yeah, and in the nutshell of everything, I've decorated and I'm tired.
Oh, there we go. We've all been busy today.
But he did say that you sounded like a baby that was on a titty.
So... I'd love to be on a titty right now.
Oh, so the fuck would I?
It's a mouthful of wind and then he swallows it whole.
Well. So what do we talk about?
So, we'll talk about pretty much it's like 2 ginger men life, I suppose, aren't we? We've encountered many ups and downs, haven't we?
I'd say more downs than ups for me, but up until the last 10 years, I would say that I've certainly gone through the doldrums somehow, and you know what, I might be going grey in my age at the age of 41.
Yeah, you're young, right?
I'm only like a year younger than you.
Still younger than me.
For a period of a month, we're the same age, right? Yeah. But when you sit there and you look at yourself at the age of 40, and you look back and you go, what the fuck happened to me? You know what? I'm playing street hockey on Saturday, which is probably gone now for most of the people that are listening to this, or if anyone's listening to this. And you know what? I play football occasionally, and you know what? The funny part about it all is that the brain goes move, and the body goes, what? Now? Oh, now, right? And then by the time that the ball or the puck or whatever has hit the back of the net, as the goalie, the netminder, and I'm sat there like, fuck happened there?
We just went on to TikTok that you did saying you open your mouth and then without getting yourself in the goal.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I opened my mouth, turned around and went, you know what? I'm watching the football going, flipping, I'm better than this. I could do better than that. Yeah. And then we lost 8-7, but I made some cracking saves. I ain't gonna lie, but I did let 3 howlers in, but I'm blaming that on my defence.
Your defence or your body?
Evidently, no, there's no evidence for it, so I can't say that there were grand saves, and I can't, there's no evidence to say that there were grand saves, or there was no evidence to say that there were shit goals that were conceded. But either way, the fact of the matter is that the brain doesn't catch up very well with the body. But actually, it's the other way around, isn't it? It's the body that doesn't catch up with the brain. The brain's there.
Well, depends. Sometimes your body does things without your brain thinking. Yeah. I wish it was that same way during sex. It's like, do this.
No, you see, the problem I have when it comes to sex is that the fact that women seem to forget that the blood can only flow to one place at a time. It's either your head or it's your nuts. And if you start thinking, the blood's going to the wrong place. You know what I mean? And that to me is a bit like a waste of time. And then they turn around, oh, you've gone soft. No shit, Sherlock. You're asking me to think about somebody else. At the same time as trying to perfect what sexy language and talk you want in your right ear, because your left one can't fucking hear you.
And for those that can't see us on cam, Dan's currently stuffing his face with chocolate, the fat bastard.
I'm not going to lie, I'm sat with a box of Heroes that I found at the top of the fridge. And I'm just sat here munching away on some chocolate.
I've got a tub of Heroes in the fridge. Best place for them, in the fridge. Keep them nice and cool. There you go, there's a debate. Do you prefer chocolate in the fridge or out of the fridge?
That depends on the room temperature, doesn't it?
See, certain chocolates you can eat at room temperature.
Now you got me thinking.
Yeah,
I could probably do a dime bar in a dime armadillo, for those that remember.
It's off on MC. Punch in the middle.
So you've got that. You've got the scenario with that where you don't want to eat that rock hard. It's already hard. You don't want to stick that in the fridge. But if you've ever had one that's been merged in with a dime bar, the dairy milk in a dime bar, so you've got the pieces of dime.
Yeah,
it's not so bad when it's in the fridge. It's not so bad, so I can deal with that. But don't be sat there giving me a dime bar from the fridge that you're just about to break. You have to take it over your knee, like you're spanking the missus.
Oh, yeah. Less thinking about that at the minute. Anyway, moving off that subject. If I mention her, she'll probably kill me at the best of times.
Sharon?
No, Sharon. Who the fuck's Sharon? Thanks.
Well, we don't want everybody knowing what her name is, so I just thought I'd just chuck a random name out there.
No, she won't be listening to this one, will she?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. If it goes on Spotify, we could be worldwide.
Oh, yes.
And all those Sharons are sat there looking at each other going, oh, bloody hell, could be me. Could be me.
It could be your Sharon.
Could be your Sharon. Answers on a postcard. Free
So the quite ironic thing about this, it's our first podcast on a site called Riverside FM. The Riverside part is not really funny, but the FM part is when something we did years ago now.
Too many. And I'd just like to point out that the fact of the matter is that you are a pro DJ, as you're actually live.
Yes.
On a particular radio program.
On an FM radio station at that.
So you are famous.
Radio, plug there. So, but no, we did have a go at doing radio once ourselves, many moons ago.
We did.
Yes, Eagle FM. Where did we get that? I know obviously we had Edmonton Eagles as the football team as part. Was that the?
Yeah, I think it was. I genuinely think that we were just too lazy to think of anything else. The problem that you got is you can't. Obviously, I'm originally a Londoner, so are you. You couldn't call it London FM.
No.
You couldn't call it Capital after the Bauer Group or whatever they're called this week.
They'll play it again next year.
And, so it's one of those where you had that many pirate radio stations in London at the time that were being broadcast out of nightclubs. If you remember, there was a load in Tottenham at the time.
Well, I was part of one called fatbeats.net. That was an online one, and that was pretty cool. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of being on the radio. I just know that I'm not quite sure what to say. Yeah, I've managed to fill 9 minutes and 40 seconds so far.
That ain't no bad, is it, sir?
And that's about the amount of time that you got in a whole 2-hour slot. So I've done well there.
You can't knock it.
So, yeah, the fact that we made our own jingles up, and the fact that we, tried not to sound like ourselves when we were ourselves, was something else.
I think my voice is trying to come out this minute, which is very, very deep.
Yeah, you're only deep when you got something down your throat.
Well, it's better than sounding high pitched. Oh,
yeah, like you were earlier. Yeah. You know what? You look back in life, and you just sit there and you just sit back, and you think, what have I done? And then the worst part, I am in a family full of women, which I definitely didn't wish for. Well, no, that's a lie. I did. I remember saying to the man upstairs, I actually did say to him, look, can you do me a favour and surround me by breasts? What I didn't mean was ones of my own making. And lo and behold, here I am, surrounded by girls that are of my own making. And an engineering friend of mine keeps saying to me, well, it's self-inflicted, don't you? Which is not what you want to hear. And you know what? Actually, talking about that, we were at, where were we? Asda. We're at Asda Living. So there are obviously other people available to go and do your shopping with. But we were in Asda Living, and we went up to the store, going to pay. And the man looked at me, and I was surrounded by 4 of my children, who are all girls, evidently. And he said to me, you know what? It takes a real man to make a woman. And I said, and you're the very first man that's ever said that. Because not one man has ever said that to me in 18 years. Yeah. Obviously, I've got my oldest who doesn't live with us. And in 18 years, I've never heard one man say to me, it takes a real man to make a woman. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got the beefiest chest of any man going since I produced 5 girls.
Yeah.
So, and they're all wonderful in their own way.
They are.
It just so happens that I might not get on with them at that precise moment when they're in their own way. But yeah, they're all fab. They're all fab, and they've all brought their own challenges, which I'm sure you're aware of yourself.
Yes, yes. Obviously, I've got 2 of my own. Well, not 2 girls, but 1 of each. And yeah, I mean,
you might have to specify that with today's society.
Yeah,
a frying pan.
Yeah, we'll call it a frying pan. Yeah, 1 boy, 1 girl. I'm don't get me into like genders and that at the minute, because I think that's just, it's gone absolutely mental.
You put yourself on it.
So, I mean,
it's not political. We've only got to 13 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I just had a voicemail come through from somebody, Chantel, I've got that. She's like, are you going to mention Keir Starmer and the Granny Harmer and Film Harmer on your podcast? So,
you now have.
Yes, I have done. Because she absolutely hates him. And I'm sure she's not the only one that hates him. There are many people across the country that despise him at the minute. But getting back onto the gender thing, it's unbelievable now that it's got to the situation it has. We grew up, it was male, female, and you went gay and lesbian. That was it. Transitins, it was very few and far between. And I know a few gay people, and a lot of them they're old school gay people that hate the way it's all become there, and they don't like the way it's moving forward. And I can see their point. And these people that say, "Well, I'm neither male or female," I'm like, hermaphrodite? Is it hermaphrodite? But it's just silly when they say, "Well, I identify as, as you say, a frying pan or something like that," and it's just, well, it's beyond me why people are like this. And, if somebody wants to, send us a message and explain it fully to me, I mean, I'm quite happy to listen. But it's just gone absolutely mental. Now, if any of my kids said to me, that when they're older they became gay or lesbian, but fair play. I'm not, I'm not going to disown them for it. That's their choice. If they're still saying, I wanted to identify as non-gender or anything like that, I'd sort of question it a little bit, and I'm sure you probably would with your girls. And it's just, I don't know, I can't get my head around it, and I don't know about you.
I think the fact that society is dictating how things are shown. I mean, we have this problem. My biggest concern having all daughters is that having a man or a male or trans whatever my identify as a female it frightens me because you don't know what's going to happen inside that changing room. And let's be fair, I mean, this is no disrespect to the females at all. I mean none by it, but the vast majority of females aren't strong enough to defeat a male.
No.
And that's no disrespect to any female out there. I'm sure there are things you can do that will disable this hyphenated commas man. But the situation is, you shouldn't be, in my opinion, females shouldn't be undressing in a locker room or in a changing room with a man or identifying as a woman that clearly isn't. And it bothers me as a father because the world is seeing that as okay.
Yeah.
Whereas in my time, and evidently yours, that wasn't okay.
No, it wasn't.
And it frightens me that my girls, although don't get me wrong, they know what to do if a man decides to do anything to them. But the reality of it all is that they're not strong enough. They've got, you can scream, but it frightens. It really, really frightens me. That my girls are going to be subject to this, and I'm hoping that we have a little bit of common sense. I hope that if you are transitioning, maybe it might be worth putting you in your own locker room, your own changing room. I have no problem with that, but my problem is that for a girl or a woman being in the same changing room as a man, that's a no-go. The only time I find that acceptable is a family changing room when you've got kids. Right. And that, when you're a family unit, there's obviously that trust there, and there's obviously the acceptance of getting changed and making sure that your children are safe. I do feel myself that society is more dangerous now than it was, but that could be me looking at that as a 41-year-old man, and then looking at when I was in London, where I was brought up in Edmonton and Enfield, and looking at it then. But I'll be looking at that as a 13, 7-year-old. When did I move to Edmonton? About 2-year-old. So looking at Edmonton from a 2-year-old to a 15, and I'll be looking at that through my own eyes. Now, there probably was dangers I didn't see. There probably was. I won't deny that. But nothing to the extent that we have now. But I suppose a lot of that is actually social media.
I mean, social media has got a lot to influence a lot of things. Touching on, for what it was like in London, when, Edmonton itself, how much that area has changed. I mean, London in general has changed. Some good, some bad, depending how you look at it. But no, I totally agree. If you're in a family environment and you know that they're safe, then as a parent, that you're doing the right thing by by your children. I mean, when I throw in pools here, it's got a communal changing area, but it's all got lockers. Cubicles. So everyone's getting changed within the same area, but everyone's in a cubicle. But again, there's that risk of, if it's adults only swimming and there's no children about, what's to stop, there being 10 blokes in there and one female, and that female being attacked. But then, it could be the other way around. I mean, it's not to say that all men attack women. It does happen the other way. So you've got to look at it on both sides of the water. If a female that's transitioning into a male goes into a male's changing room, and it's the same thing happens there, who's at fault? It's you're asking that same sort of question: who's at fault? So, that person who's transitioning at fault for going in there, or should they have stayed in a female changing locker room? And same, if a male transitioned into a female, went into a female one, and was attacked by the females, again, who's at fault for that one? So there's sort of many ways to look at it without sort of going in too deep, but then saying, right, well, it's their fault or it's their fault. So it's still a very grey area. I think a lot more has to be done in a way of understanding it fully, and more things being implemented and put into place for these people that want to transition. But whether we have a transgender, a transitioning changing room that's just specially for them, but then for a fact you do that, and they'll be like, well, you're singling us out. So we'll be going full circle again. So it's trying to find that happy medium.
I don't think you'll ever find it. Not while you've got safety. And that, I'm not saying that every person that's transitioning is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm far from saying that, in fact. But what I am saying is that my children, all 5, are females, and they're going to have to look at this person. It's going to happen. I mean, I know that America and the United States especially have come really far forward with all of this, and now I think that Trump's in, I think it'll all go backwards. But we are here. We seem to be 6 months to a year behind the trends in America, and I'm looking at that and going, again, my real concern again is for my children, and I'm sure there are other parents and grandparents that are concerned for their children's safety and their grandchildren's safety. But what a topic to start with.
No, we just don't. We
Do you know what happened to the armbands? We've just jumped in the deep end without any swimming lessons. We better hope we're floating to the topic.
We're Southerners, so we'll go.
Jesus Christ! I'm sat there thinking we can talk about when do you take a tea bag out, and you've gone straight in with with a notion on the safety aspects of children in a gender society.
It's the biggest thing at the minute that's going on with children's safety in general, with what's happened in Southport, recent events with child grooming and stuff like that. I'm not going to move on to that subject. Yeah, I think that's at least another 3 or 4 podcasts away for that one. But being a radio presenter myself, I naturally will just go straight into the thick of things. I will, just grab it by the horns and just, tackle it as it is. So I think you was hoping to just, paddle out very slowly, but no, I've taken you down.
There was no fucking chance on that, was there? I'm sat there thinking I've just blown up the dinghy for us. Oh god, there's another subject. There's me sat there. We're sat there on the edge of the coast of France, and we're going to claim to be asylum seekers in our own country. But there you go. the scenario of blowing up the dinghy and getting just paddling ourselves out into a realm where we can have a laugh and a giggle, and suddenly we've just gone straight into a topical debate. Ooh, topical.
Yeah, people mention that.
It's something that it's difficult, right? I think the problem that you've also got is at the moment we have to be incredibly careful what we say, due to Keir Starmer deciding to penalise everybody for having an opinion that doesn't match his own, or Angela Rayner's actually.
I'm sorry, but my opinion, I will say as it is. I'm not going to hold back as you won't either. I mean, we're entitled to free speech, and I think we should.
I think the fact that we're not allowed to have any sort of say over what is going on in life, and it worries me. The world is worrying me, ever so slightly, and it is concerning. It is really because of where we're going, and the worst part about it all is I know that there are people out there that feel the same as we do, and there are people out there that that are worried about things. Now, I said this actually to a customer of mine, and I said, the situation with children running amok and having no pride is I'm not religious, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to be religious.
No.
There's only two things I.
You told me you was a Jedi.
Well, yeah, okay. There's only two things I worship, and there are left and right, and they're boobs, like pretty much every other man in the world. But I do believe that we are losing our values. Now, I know that our values are based on Christian values. And I know you can have everybody else go, oh, well, there's, you're multicultural, which is clearly not working, but let's not go down that line just yet. The scenario for me is that we seem to be moving away from traditional values, even down to the point that, and both of us have been hit by this, that it's so easy to just say, fuck you, I'm done, to your partner without even a second guess. And you know what? I look at people that I know in my life, and there are people that are that have stayed together, and do you know what? The hardest part that they've all said to me was being able to work through the issues that come up in a relationship, and there are several, right? There are several, and some are one person's making, some are the other, and some are situation. And you know what? You look at like my aunt and uncle recently. I think it was end of last year, celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, and I think that is absolutely phenomenal. Will it be seen again? Probably not. And they've had problems. They've openly told me they've had problems. And they've worked through them. And that is something that you've got to appreciate out of a generation that, they've had problems. Yes, there's been issues. They've had, I don't know. I don't really want to particularly say examples because it would highlight certain areas. But the situation there is they've gone through some hefty crap. And that is each of them. They've said that themselves. But equally, it's situation, and the situation one is the hardest one. And you know what? There has been that many opportunities for those two to say "fuck it," and they haven't, and they've stuck with each other. And you know what? That's a testament to their character. It's a testament to the way that they deal with situations. And in today's society, with people, ironically, our age and below, I would actually turn around and say, you couldn't do that. You can't do that because it takes real love and real affection and caring to be able to sit there. And when there's a problem, that you both work at it. And problems are hard. And I look to them and ironically, and I've said this before, so my current partner will, if she ever listens to this, which I sincerely doubt she will, but I also admire my ex's mum and dad because they're of the similar stock. They've not had it easy. They've had a rough ride. And you know what? They're the nicest two people you'll ever meet. And you know, I don't talk to them anymore, unfortunately. But with the eldest daughter, but the scenario is that they are really good people, and they've gone through hell in their life. They've gone through trials and tribulations, and they've had to see also their kids go through those trials. And obviously, I'm one of them. I'm one of the situations that they had to go through and support their daughter. And me, actually, if you you want the truth and the crux of it, they had to look after me and all. And they did that without prejudice, and they did that because they care. And you've got to admire the ability that they have as the older generation to us. Do I see anyone in our generation doing that? I don't personally. That's not out there. But it's so easy to say, fuck off. It's so easy to just turn around and say, oh, there's somebody better around the corner. And you know what? It isn't, because that comes with different trials and tribulations. People don't realise that because they think that they see the grass and it's greener, and it isn't. It really, this is my rant going on now. You've had yours, it's mine now. And you look at, you just look at the abilities of our generation that I don't think can do what our elders, our parents, if you want, to a degree. But I don't know if that's down to family. I don't know if that's how you brought up, or if that's something specific. I don't know. But what I do know is that I look at those two. I also have my uncle as well who passed away. Him and his wife have stuck through thick and thin. You know what? To do that, even though that there might be something that you or I would probably call unforgivable, they sat there, and for the greater good, if you want. And you're going to have people screaming at this, going, yeah, but what if they're not happy? Well, that's different, isn't it? If you're not happy, you're not going to be happy temporarily.
No.
But, you know, if you work at your issue, then, you know, some things can be resolved, some can't. And then, you know, there just doesn't seem to be that work at ethic anymore. It's like, just pick it up, throw it in the bin, fuck it. You know, and I'm not going to sit there and say to you now that I was a saint in my previous relationship with my eldest daughter, the mother of my eldest daughter, because I wasn't, right? But you know, it was so easy for her to turn around and go, fuck you. And the problem with women, when they do that, when their brains turn around, this has been, from what I've been told, this is pretty a study has gone through. When a woman says that's it, it's done, it is done. It's done. It's finished. There's no coming back from that. When a man says it, generally a woman gets a tits down and goes, "Oh well, you know, I'll stay a bit longer." No. Actually, no, that's true. But the reality is that, you know, it's, if a woman in their mind is done, then the bloke hasn't got a chance of but I do believe that, you know, if somebody loves you as much as, you know, you hear it, this, I love you so much, you're my baby, and this, oh my God, right? And you hear it from the generations, and you hear it, and you go, do you know what? You don't know what fucking love is. And you hear that, and then suddenly it's like, oh no, I saw him potentially kissing her. That's it, we're done. Well, that was a fucking good bit of love, wasn't it? Maybe he didn't do it, and vice versa. And vice versa. Blokes who was guilty of pinning some bloody lovely girl off because of the fact that she might have accidentally had a bloke's hands down her bra. But it's, we're so busy looking at the negatives of things that we don't actually look at what we do have.
I mean, I'll agree on that one. Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you know, I'd been in a marriage and it had ended, and that was it. you know. And yeah, your head goes all over the place and you don't think and so forth. And then obviously then you meet somebody new and, you know, it's all going really well. And, you know, us blokes, you know, sometimes we don't think, we say the wrong thing, we do the wrong thing.
You know, I've got a record for that.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I mean, you said that women say, well, it's done, you know. You know, there are some out there that are genuine that would say, look, you know, let's give it another go, you know, but, you know, these are the terms, you know, I'll be there, I'll support you, I'll help you get through. And they are the genuine ones. I mean, I can say that, you know, I've got a genuine one now, and, you know, I've been through a lot of shit, I've done a lot of shit, and, you know, she sort of seen both sides of me. But she can obviously she sees the truth. You know, she sees that, you know, deep down there is somebody there that, you know, that's, you know, wants to be that better person, and that's what I want to be. I want to be that better person. And, you know, the support that I've had from her has been second to none. You know, she's given me a bit of a kick up the arse, and I mean a kick up the arse. And I, you know,
like that type of thing.
But you know, I deserved it. You know, I'm not going to lie, I deserved it, and you know, it's made things a lot better between us. And I know she's going to listen to this. But yeah, and so
She'll tell you not to do another one with me, I'll tell you that.
you know, I'm doing, you know, this is sort of like I'm the least of, you know, the things, and you know, I'm going back onto the radio in a week or so, so I'll be back on the, you know, the FM airwaves. But anyway, but you know, as I say, there are some genuine women that, you know, that would generally support you, but there are some out there that wouldn't, you know, and I'm appreciative that, you know, there's somebody out there that wants to help me, and, you know, because I mean, I've had a bit of a shit life, to be honest with you. I mean, you know a lot of it. There's a lot you don't know, and, you know, there's a lot of the people won't know. But you know, it's just the way we've gone through life. I mean, growing up in the area that we grew up in, it wasn't the greatest of areas, was it? I mean, it's got a lot worse now as London.
Oh, hell no, Edmonton was rough as
Yeah.
fuck.
But we, you know, we did what we did, you know, whether it be driving out, you know, driving up to Southend, and, you know, somebody sleeping in the back of somebody's tyre, and somebody robbing a rinky in somebody's brand new car.
Fucking hell. I haven't forgotten it.
I mean, that was quite comical when he did that. But, you know, we did some crazy shit, you know, and you look back at it, you're thinking, what the fuck did we do as, you know, as youngsters? And, you know, and then there's kids out there now that are not having the sort of life that we had. They're going robbing somebody or stabbing somebody, and it's just, it's not the same anymore. You know, so, you know, I think, as you say, like us as a generation, you know, we won't, you know, we don't experience what the generation before us is going to, you know, is experiencing. But then the next generation are not going to experience the stuff that we've experienced. So, you know, it's that full circle, isn't it? So, you know, but, you know, as I say, hopefully she's listening. So I'm sorry. So she'll message me when she does listen to this. But, you know, she has turned my life around, you know, and she had, you know, she could have initially said, no, don't add enough, and then that was it. But she didn't, you know, she stuck by me, you know, and she, you know, and I really do appreciate that. And there's not many women out there that are like it. So, you know, she is one in a million. And you know, I'm not saying it because we're on the podcast or anything like that. I'm being, you know, genuinely honest. So, I mean, you have found your person, your home. You know, you've had your ups and downs, like everybody, but you know, you work through it. You know, and you've got some amazing daughters from it.
You know, it's funny you say that because you know, when I try very hard not to name them, when said person left me, I was a mess. Again, why I said that her mum especially took a great deal of interest in making sure that there was some support for me. And the situation there, I was a good 5 years of not actually looking. I was praying for that girl to come back, and that was a mistake because I put my life on hold. And and that's when, obviously, if anybody looked at my CV, they'd realise how shit it was. Because I decided then to dot around the country and try and find where I wanted to be. And the problem is, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to find anything, know. And it's something that I found really difficult to understand. I had my daughter, my oldest daughter, who was only young, and the reason I moved was because of to get away from my ex, because my ex did give me a couple of confused signals. She might not have meant to, but she did, in my opinion. And I needed to, in the words of Queen, break free, and to get away, and I did. And it it's so difficult because when all you wanted at the time was your house. I lived in Stevenage at the time, in Hertfordshire. I had the home. She left. She took my daughter with her, and she eventually took the dog, who missed my daughter. And it was a shell. It wasn't the home that it was. It was a shell. And to be reminded constantly that this is, look what you in the words of Jim Bowen, look what you could have won. Or in this case, look what you could have had. Or look what you did have in this case. And to have someone that was, I suppose, depressed, if you want to call it that, I probably was. Is something that is really difficult, and to dig yourself out. And as I said to you before, it was like you're at the bottom of a well. And you can just see this little glimmer of hope at the top, which hopefully looks like the Ring, if you've ever seen the film. But upwards, not and it was difficult. It was, and then suddenly somebody threw me a rope down, heard me cries and sob stories, and how bad it was for me as a 25-year-old man at the time. And 25, no, 27, 28. No, I was 28. It's 25 that I was, that said lady left me. And I, at 28, 29, I met my current one, who's had to visually watch me go through hell and be blamed for me moving away when she wasn't the reason I moved away. I moved away because I wanted to have a fresh start. And it was, what, at such a young age, obviously she's a bit younger than me. She's had to really pull together. She hasn't had the best life either. But she, two lost souls, if you want, found each other, and she has been incredibly supportive. She's the one that's repaired me and made me believe in myself again, and making sure that actually you're not quite the twat that you were made out to be, although I probably was. But and I'm not saying that my ex didn't do anything wrong. She did, but that's not up for debate. That what's up for debate is the fact that somebody had to come in, rescue me from the well, and my current partner did that, and she put the inside back in me again, to believe in myself again, and to be the person that I've become again. And that's a hard task for someone.
It is. I mean, I'm in the same situation as you. Obviously, Chantel's obviously, showing me, that I should be the person I need to be, rather than the person I was pretending to be. Now, I mean, I watched you go through that, you know, and I see how much it destroyed you. I mean, I was pretty much the single life anyway then, but you know, you know, you've seen what I went through, you know, in the past and whatnot. But you know, I see you hit rock bottom. You know, I see where your mental health got to you. You know, and
Yeah,
you know, there was myself and um, our other friends at the time. You know, that sort of were there for you. You know, Craig, who was briefly in this video, but ended up going out before we went live. You know, has helped supported you. You know, and I've supported you where I can, and so forth. So, you know, I'm a bit mental health bad now. Obviously, I'm picking myself up. You know, I'm doing the counselling and stuff like that. And I never, you know, I tried it once and gave up. And, you know, this was years ago. And I never wanted to go down that route. I just thought, no, I don't need counselling. I can do it myself. I can do it myself. When, you know, you just lying to yourself and you can't. You need that support. And, you know, if you've not got family support here, you've got to, you know, rely on the support that's out there. So, you know, my one sentence that I will say is, you know, if there is any men or women, you know, that are out there struggling with their mental health, don't be afraid to seek help. I mean, there are people out there, whether it be, you know, the crisis line, Samaritans, Andy's Name Club, you know, for the blokes. You know, don't be afraid. You know, don't suffer in silence. You know, that's the one thing I will say to people, because it will take you down a dark road, and you will end up doing something, you know, that you could regret, or do something that, you know, has an implications. You know, you may not want to end your life, but you may try, and you know, it'll have repercussions. So don't ever take yourselves down that route. You know, there is help out there. NHS, let's say Andy's Man Club, Samaritans, the crisis line. Just give somebody a call. You know, or if you know, if you don't want to talk to them, go and see a friend, go and see a neighbour. You know, or if you know, if you're somebody out there that knows somebody that's struggling with mental health, go and talk to them, because that's all they want. They just want somebody to talk to and somebody to, you know, to listen, because that's, you know, they're crying out for help, but you just can't hear it. You can see it, but you just can't hear it. So, you know, and I'm sure Dan will agree, you know, just talk to somebody, because that's, you know, is what it is.
I had a conversation. I'm finally out of it with the child maintenance service, and they don't help you either. But well, when I say they don't help you, they don't help anyway. But the way that they treat you, the way that they speak to you, the way that they come across is really really harsh. And it's funny because I was sat there talking to somebody, ironically from the phone system people for work, and we were having that conversation. I mentioned the child maintenance service, and it's not just me, which I'm glad about, but I'm not glad about, if that makes sense, because I always thought it was, oh, they were just a bunch of bastards towards me, and it turns out that actually they're a bunch of bastards to everyone, or everyone that's not got the child in their care, and they are just thieving bastards. The situation there is that I finally got out of it. My eldest turned 18 in September. She wasn't 18. She was 18 in September, which is when the child maintenance system changes. And I had an argument with him in September. But it was, I said to them, I said, I don't have to deal with you anymore. Unless obviously my current missus walks out, in which case I've got another 15 years of it. But I said to them, to know you don't care. And they have got better actually from in the early days, and from when I was dealing with it in the early days. And I said, you know what? I've had some of your paperwork. You don't know what the left hand's doing to the right hand. But I did say there are times where you have written things. I said, and there's a man, and we're all told as men or as boys, you've got to be a man. You have to suck it up, buttercup, and you have to make sure that everything is hunky dory. You've got to, the man's broad shoulders has got to carry everything, and all that. And suddenly we're starting to realise that actually, you just look at suicide rates. Men, I think it's every 7 seconds or 7 minutes a man commits suicide. And we're told that we can't talk, but you've got to tell our generation, and I'm of that generation, and so are you, that we're told that we couldn't talk, and now they're saying to us, "Oh, you must talk," and when you're browbeaten to being told you can't speak because you're a man, it's so difficult, and it's it is important, and I actually said this to child maintenance service. I said, you know what, you probably are responsible for the letters and how they're written to these people that don't have the child. That you've probably been the ones that have pushed that guy to stick a rope around his neck and chuck himself off a bridge.
Yeah.
Because the way that they write them and the way that they treat you as that parent. I mean, I had an issue where they turned around and my ex-missus turned around and said I hadn't paid. And I said, I have. But they didn't ask her for evidence. They asked me for the evidence.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's unfair. I said, have you got evidence to show I haven't paid it? No. So what's the problem? Why aren't you checking? Oh, so they take everything that the parent has as gospel, which is wrong.
Yeah.
But the situation there was, well, if you can't prove it, then we're going to go on to collect and pay. And collect and pay is like they charge you 20% extra, right? They charge you 20%, so you put your value, and then they put 20% on it for taking the joys of taking that money, and then they give it to your ex-partner minus 5%. So they charge you for taking it, and then they charge you for giving it.
Yeah.
They're taking 25. Well, it's not 25%, but they're taking the 20% of the value of what you're paying on top, and then taking 5% of it away for delivering it. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of money for someone to press OK on an online banking form. But that, the child maintenance service is not something that if I was in government, I'd ban it. I'd put something else in place where there would be fairness on both sides. It's not always the case where, okay, the parent that doesn't have the child isn't always the one that's cheated and run off.
Yeah.
And they take it under the situation that, oh, well, since you haven't got the child, you must have been the bad bastard, which I wasn't. I'm not an angel, but I wasn't the bad one in that respect, in my opinion. But obviously, we have two versions of a story, and then you have the third, which is the truth. So yeah, with Andy's Man Club, that's a real positive thing. Samaritan's very, very good. You've got a crisis team. I've dealt with the crisis team before. They weren't very good for me, but that doesn't mean that they haven't improved in the years that I was in a situation where I felt that the world was ending. And it, the thoughts. It's amazing the dark places. As you said, that dark road. That dark road is dark.
Yeah, it is.
There are thoughts in your mind where you go, I wonder if the world would be better without me. And the world isn't better without you, because you've made, the world doesn't care. With the greatest of respect, the world doesn't care whether you're in it or not. The world will spin, whether you're here or not. It's only the people around you that actually matter. And I know that sounds really harsh overall, but that is the reality. Is this is the problem I had when I go back to where I was 5 years pining for my ex, and the world didn't matter that I was pining for my ex. The world kept spinning. The world kept going. Life was continuing. It was only me that was sat there thinking it. It was nobody else. Even my ex-missus was out there having sex with somebody else. I mean, for God's sake, and that's reality. And if any of my children are listening to it, that's exactly what happens between adults, right? But she was out there. She was living her best life. She got rid of me. I was the weight at the bottom of her shoe that was keeping her down, or in her view, I suppose. And my life was suddenly going, oh, please come back, please come back. The world still span. It didn't matter what happened. Everybody else was living their lives. It's only you as a person. I was not a gigolo. I was not a gigolo, I'll have you know, as I just came through on WhatsApp. Right? The I was the social companion actually, but let's say about that one. We'll probably talk about that on the next podcast, if there is one. But yeah, I was. It's so difficult because when you're in that dark place, it's so hard, so hard to get yourself out. And you're right, you can't do it on your own. Nobody can do it on their own, and whether that be family, if you haven't got the supportive family that others have, like I don't feel I had it, and they'll probably argue with me, but I don't care. It was how I felt at the time. As will you. You know, that's how you felt about it. It's really, really difficult. It's so difficult, and you do need someone to grab you throw you a rope and go, look, grab this, come on, come see some titties, and you think that's going.
Yeah.
I know that's a really bad exaggeration about just mentioning the word titties, but the fact of the matter is, you do need someone to grab you and say, come over here, you big prick. Everything's going to be all right. Life is going to be fine. This is just one hellhole that you've got to go through.
Yeah.
But it's all right when you got hindsight, isn't it? It's all right when you sat there later on in life and you sat there and suddenly you got a really nice squeeze on the side of your arm going, actually, she's quite nice. And actually, she treats me better than the last one. You know, and that's, you know, it's such a thing. And the dark place, and it is dark, and it really is dark. It's a horrible place. But you're right. The basis of it all is that you have, when you hit rock bottom and you do hit the deck and you've got your face plastered against the stone at the bottom.
Yeah.
You can build yourself up from that, and you can, you know, and that's a solid base. That's a solid place to build your foundations. Find out who you are. Hopefully, that person that's with you there guiding you, you suddenly go, actually, you are actually quite nice, and maybe you do have a thing for me. Or in some cases, it might be, oh shit, they might just actually generally care about me, and they don't have any interest in me at all. But either way, you know, that person that's guiding you, helping you put your bricks back together. The only way you could probably explain is if you built this really good castle out of Lego and your flipping younger brother or sister comes over and goes, ha ha, bang, and down it goes. You know what I mean? It's like you start the bricks at the bottom, and then suddenly, if you got yourself in a really, really good position, whether that be financial, whether, you know, emotional, you know, and suddenly everything comes back all right. Because you built yourself up from where you want to be, and I've just taken up about 20 minutes on that whole segment. Sorry. Sorry.
From through, you know, as I say, you know, if you think that taking your life is the easiest way out, and it's easy for you, yeah, it might be. But if the people around you, you think, oh, you know, that's it, you know, you're nobody's problem, but all you've done is just make it worse for somebody else, because obviously your family have got to pick up the pieces and so forth. It's not going to be easy, you know. And whether you're jumping off a bridge, you know, it's the people that have to deal with the aftermath. You know, it affects everybody. You know, it's, you know, your mental health has affected you, but then your actions have an effect on those that are having to sort of pick up the pieces. You know, and it's you know, it's not nice.
That involves people that are nothing to do with you. I mean, you know, you talk about the emergency services; they're the ones that's going to come and see your body splattered on the pavement at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to go home after seeing somebody's blood and guts all over the floor with a leg dangling out.
I mean, you know, obviously we live quite near to what was predominantly, you know, Suicide Bridge. You know the one I'm on about, don't you?
Yeah.
And they built the railings to try and stop it. It had an effect for a while, but you know, you put one barrier in a place, people will find another way. So, but as I say, don't ever go down that road. You know, talk to somebody. You know, I don't know what, for some reason I talked to Frank in your head, but that's totally the wrong. That was a totally.
No, do you know what? That was years ago. There was talk to Frank years.
I think that was drugs and stuff like that.
Oh, was it? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not emotional support.
You know, but you know, but yeah, as I say, there's help out there. We'll get it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it up a note now, because I think we've just gone. We've gone to the ranks. We've gone to the low bottoms now, and I think we need to sort of perk it up a little bit now.
Fair play. Go for it.
You're sat there in your rather attractive bath robe. I won't say bath robe. We're going to make you sound posh rather than a dressing gown.
It's a fucking dressing gown.
Yeah.
Don't you start with that shit.
So,
Right.
so I'm going to make you laugh now. So, obviously, my other half, she's from Lancashire.
Poor lass.
Well, that's where she's from. And she loves the sound of the southern voice. She loves my southern voice, and she, you know, I will say that she does take the piss out of me on a regular occasion. One for being ginger, so you're going to get it in the neck this time, Mister, as well, because you're on this with me. So because you're very much ginger as well.
I have a ginger beard.
Yeah, we're still ginger. So,
Right. Okay. So I've got. Listen, at least I've got half a soul. Right.
Are you an arsehole, was that?
No, half a soul, dear. Half a soul.
So, you know, obviously I wear glasses. And when I was younger, I had a bit of a dodgy eye. So after surgery, I mean, which was quite a late age, I had to wear an eye patch. And she thought it was absolutely hilarious. So she was like, so you're a ginger and you're wearing an eye patch. She went, and I bet you pissed yourself as well. I was like, no. So, anybody that's ginger pisses herself. So we're in the same boat, mister. But you can clarify.
I think I've ever pissed myself as of yet.
It's not a ginger thing. So, anyway, she takes a piss out of me on a regular basis, and you know, about the way I say words and so forth. So, like I said to her, I said, "Oh, do you want a bottle of water?" She was like, "What?" I said, "Do you want a bottle of water?" She was like, "It's not water. It's water from where you're from. You've got to say it properly." So I've got to say water.
That's true.
Well, yeah, being, you know, as a Londoner. So, you know, words that we use as kids, you know, so...
Bath.
Bath, yeah, all good Bath, yeah. So...
No. They don't insert in Yorkshire.
No,
Bath.
Bath, yeah.
Bath.
So, yeah, there's that, you know, in Hull, they don't pronounce their H's, so it's oh.
Yeah, I can believe. Well, there's not a lot that they do in Hull, to be honest.
No, to be fair, there's not much really. But I mean, just sort of talking about words that slang words. So now, if I said to you, give us a backy.
Well, that to me is like a joint.
See, I would have thought you would have got what we had as being both London, and so give us a backy on the back of a bike. Give us a backy. Trick nuts.
Oh no, you've seen someone turn around and said, "Do you want a backy?" That to me would have been, "Do you want?"
Well, wacky would have been more fun.
Yeah.
So in Hull, they say you're at the 10-foot. So what? 10-foot. So it's basically an alleyway. But I don't see where the word 10-foot is, because it's not 10 foot wide, it's not 10 foot long, it's not 10 foot high. So
I don't know about that one.
So, but we used to call it all to go down, you know, go down the alleyways and stuff like that.
Well, it's funny because my other half, who's from South Yorkshire, calls it a ginnel.
Ginnel. I think they say.
Again, I don't know. But you know, some people call it a back passage, but that leads to something else.
I think Lancashire they call it a ginnel as well. I'm sure they do.
Well, as I said, it's...
because she's gone to bed, so I can't ask her. She'll tell me off if I send her a message. You know, over here, so Becky was for London, but here they call it a croggy. So you know, it's little terminologies, what they call terminisms.
It's funny you say that, because I remember when I first started at Rotherham Bus Garage, and they said to me, "Oh, do you want some spice?" And I went,
Spice.
"Yeah, what? Some spice?" Yeah. Well, what? Paprika? Fucking what? What do you mean? Do I want some? And it turns out it means sweets.
Oh, okay. I would have thought it been chip spice.
No, you see, that's something else that people also say is chip spice. When you obviously ice hockey circles, man, when you used to go to Hull, you used to get chip spice, which was what Hull was famous for in the ice hockey arena.
Yeah.
And the other thing that they say in South Yorkshire is snap tip. I'm going for some snap, and I'm like, oh well.
Right, okay.
To me, that's a game of cards. Right.
He's going to play snap.
What, you're making an effort to go and play snap? Right, okay. It turns out it means a lunchbox. Snap tip.
No, well, even like those sweets over here and goodies. And then if you see lunch, you go for your pack up.
Pack up was something that other people have used, yeah. I think you really want to start a debate, you just got to turn around and say, what's that? bread roll actually called?
Oh yeah. I said bread roll, and it's not a roll, it's a bap, or it's a bread cake.
No, baps are a pair of tits.
Yeah, it's a bread cake here apparently. So
Yeah, it's bread cake where I was in Doncaster and Sheffield.
so
Although, how the hell you can have bread and a cake?
yeah, I know. Well, a bread cake would be a nice bun because that was made out of bread, wasn't it? Really, it was like a bread bun, wasn't it? With icing
See,
on.
that to me is a nice finger.
Yeah, ice finger, but it's still made. It's still a bread base, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it was a sweeter bread, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't actually like you didn't go and get a finger roll or a hot dog roll from Sainsbury's and other supermarkets. I've mentioned Asda earlier as well.
Yeah. So, well, is that a very bad from Sainsbury's? I've got used to sourdough bread. I'm posh now. I eat sourdough bread.
Don't ever moan at me ever again.
Yeah.
So, no, you know what? Actually, due to my other half, situations that she finds herself in, we've ended up having to go more organic. And so basically, we've ended up getting, I don't know, so we'll go to the butchers for meat. And by the way, if anybody's listening to this that goes to Tesco or Morrison's and the other supermarkets, I managed to mention it. I'm just going through the list here.
Just to throw those in there.
Yeah, just to say I'm being fair.
Yeah.
Not that they give a shit, but just to say I'm being fair.
You're more of a safety man.
There's Waitrose as well if you really want to be in, if you're up that way. You know, we ended up going to the local butcher, and I'll tell you what, the meat difference is ridiculous. The quality of the meat is ridiculous. It's so much better. I mean, we've ended up going to a local farm shop.
Yeah.
And now comes up, people go, "Oh, you posh bastard." No, believe me, going to a farm shop is so worth it.
Yeah.
And you might
support the local farmers anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they need it for their inheritance tax. Yeah. But the taste and the quality of the meat is completely different. Yes. And we've got a really good baker's up. Well, it's 20 minutes away. I will do the drive because their bread and cakes are that good that they wipe. I mean, we've got a milk farm, a dairy farm up the road.
Yeah.
But you know what, right? And I know this is going to sound like I'm a real posh bastard, but I would rather go and buy milk from a milk farm that I know isn't going to last as long as it does out of the ones that come out of Tesco and all, and are the farms basically.
Yes.
Because that's who supply fucking everybody.
Yeah.
You know what? My local farm does. You obviously get the washable milk bottles. You probably see Clarkson's farm do it as well.
Yeah.
Their shop does it for cow juice. And we get a couple of glass bottles, and you'll top up a litre for £1.40 or whatever it is for a litre. And you know what? And they say you have to use it in 3 days, right? You have to use it in 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I do this occasionally. I'm sure there's others that do it, where you have a cup of tea and you leave it, right? And then obviously in the morning it looks all right, doesn't it? Normally you look at it, it's cold. It's a bit of this, it's a bit lighter brown or whatever it is that you had it before. But when you use proper milk, you look at that in the morning, there's a flipping thing at the top, and you're like, oh shit, right? That's proper milk. Yeah. So what are they putting in? And this is going to start off another fucking argument. What are they putting in that milk to keep it fresh? Supposedly keep it fresh. And I'll tell you what, I would rather have Parky's Farm is where I get my milk, and Parky's Farm is well worth their, and that's not, they haven't paid me for that, and I wouldn't expect it either. The milk from there, absolutely fabulous. I know it's in dirty Leicestershire, so sorry for anyone listening from Leicestershire, you're all inbred. The milk from there is absolutely fabulous. Yeah. And you know what, if you get the opportunity, go and get it from one of those, and I'll tell you what, you'll feel the benefits.
Yeah.
So in the way that they say up in Yorkshire, feel benefits.
Yeah. That's the Lancashire well, just disappears.
Well, I think it's anywhere past Nottingham. So yeah. Along with something else that disappears above Nottingham, Saveloys.
See, that's the thing. They don't do Saveloys in chip shops here. So you went into a chip shop here and you went for a Saveloy, they'd look at you.
Yep.
But yeah, anyone else is like, oh yeah, I'll have a saveloy. They're all cooked. But you can go in the local shop and buy cold saveloys, a pack of 5. But yeah, you can't get.
Yeah, no.
But then I got laughed at because by my significant other, I'm going to say at this point, she's probably going to slap me for it. Because, well, I don't know about you, but I do like pie mash and liquor. And generally, it's traditional London dish.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's got,
Cracking,
yeah,
cracking shop in near Waltham Cross, Waltham Abbey.
We've got the one in High Street. Horton High Street. That was a nice one. But yeah, it's just like, well, the liquor's got eel juice in it. I was like, parsley sauce. Yeah, but it's got juice in it.
Yeah.
She's like, but it's got eel juice in it. I was like, well, if it has, it has. I said, I still like it. I said, it's it's a big London tradition. Like Hull's got it's got its patties in Hull. London's got pie mash and liquor. What, fish and chips?
Well, it's actually East London, isn't it? West London.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're as common as Muck.
Yeah,
then,
I think is it North? Well, East London, it's the bagels, isn't it? You got Brick Lane for bagels.
Yeah.
So, which is very popular. Salt beef bagel. That's made me feel.
That's something from Yorkshire, and I didn't understand. I spoke to my nan about it. God rest her soul. She's passed away now. But I remember saying to her, so they gave me this sandwich, and she said, "What was it?" I said, "It was dripping sandwich." And my nan actually said, "No, nobody else I'd ever spoken to had heard of this, right? In the south, right? In the north, it's a common thing. But in the south, and I said to my nan about it, and she went, "Oh, I used to have dripping sandwiches." And it's the. I'm going to get this wrong now, I guarantee it, because some fucker messages and go, "That was wrong, you dickhead." It's the fat.
Yeah.
And they put it on bread, fat on bread.
Yeah.
And they used to have that, and I couldn't think of anything fucking worse. But it was still a popular thing in Yorkshire, or South Yorkshire. That's where I used to live. And yeah, it was just wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but then New Yorkshire, they're Bovril. Let's have a cup of Bovril. They do a bit of Bovril. So that's it's a very northern thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll admit, I've been trying some new foods recently. I've been getting into it through my other half, and sort of. I mean, she's vegan, vegetarian. Sorry.
Oh, bastard.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, actually. I mean, I've been enjoying it.
I never said that. Just on record, I never said there was anything wrong with being vegan. But after the situation that I used to have with my mother and being vegetarian, not one person can tell me that Linda McCartney sausage rolls tail our sausage.
I was saying she's a veggie, because if I say vegan, she'll probably slap me. So I'll say veggie. But I mean, I tried some like corn mince. I've tried corn, meatless meatballs. That's all plant-based. And to be honest, sorry?
You can go to IKEA for them.
Yeah, no. But to be fair, right, so even though it's not meat, it's plant-based, while I was eating it, I didn't think of it as plant-based. I thought, oh yeah, it's just normal meat, or they're just not. And your brain just goes, oh yeah, it's just normal meat, and you taste what you think is meat. So there isn't a great deal. So I mean, I gave my kids, I gave my daughter some vegan chicken nuggets. So they're like a corn chicken nuggets. So they weren't actual chicken nuggets, they were just plant-based nuggets. She ate them. I did tell her what they were, and she was like, I really like them. And I went, well, they're not really chicken. She was like, what? So I told her, she was like, but she still liked them and she wanted more. So it just shows you that it's power of the mind. If you wasn't to know what it was, if I gave them to you and didn't tell you what you ate, and you were like, oh yeah, it's nice, you'd be none the wiser until I tell you that. You probably probably, but
No, I'm sorry. I have nothing against vegetarians or vegans at all. Right, absolutely nothing. Because several of my family members are vegetarian.
Yeah.
And I don't. I think that if that's what pleases them, that's what pleases them. Right. But I like a chicken nugget. and I like beef Wellington, and I like lamb chops, mini
Yeah.
lamb chops especially,
Yeah.
right? And there is no way on this God-given earth you're gonna ever persuade me to eat plastic crap that's dressed up, ironically, as a meat item. I mean, come on, you get me going here because it drives me mad. If you want to eat vegetable stuff, that's up to you. I have no problem with it, but don't disguise it as meat. Right?
Lovely. I'm going to do one then.
Well,
It's got to.
yeah, well, you can't cook for shit, so it don't matter.
Yeah, well, I can, but.
Bullshit, right? I mean, if you, what was it? I saw somebody had made a turkey.
Yeah, you can.
Made a turkey.
Yeah.
They made this turkey. Why not just have a fucking turkey? Why is it that vegetarians have this idea that they've got to dress everything like meat? Because no, if you want, listen, you don't see me dressing up a fucking duck breast into a lettuce, do you? Right?
I'm going to defend myself in this point because I don't mind it. So if thanks you, I'm not going to attack to this one. So
listen, it's only because you're getting to see titties, right? Let's be fair, right? You want to see her titties again and again and again because we never get bored of seeing titties, no matter how many times we've seen them, right? But the reality is, right? It's so annoying that you get the vegetarians dressing things up to look like meat, but you don't see one person going to get a fucking hamburger and dressing it up and painting it green to look like a piece of fucking lettuce.
you put the healthy section in your burger, didn't you?
Bullshit.
No, that's your healthy section.
I agree that we need. I agree that we need a bit of healthy stuff on our burgers, right? And I'm happy to have lettuce on my burger. It actually is quite nice. But the reality of it all is that you don't see meat eaters disguising meat as vegetables, where you do have vegetarians disguising things that are vegetarian into meat-looking things. No, you should just be happy with the fact that if it looks like a lettuce, leave it as a lettuce. Don't dress up your fucking corn mince into fucking beef or lamb mince or whatever pork mince, right? Stop it. Leave it. Stop. If you want to eat meat, eat meat. Don't dress your shit up in meat form and force it down the rest of our fucking throats. I'm sorry, but no, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. No, it's like those Linda McCartney sausage rolls. My mum sat there and she said to me, "Oh, these taste just like sausage rolls, these." And I tried one. It was plastic. Right? It was cardboard and plastic rolled into one. And I took a bite and I spat it out. Right? Because it tasted like it was cardboard crap. Right? But why do you have to dress it as a sausage roll? Why don't you just call it a fucking lettuce roll? I'll tell you why. Because no fucker would eat it.
I think we may have just hit a nerve there.
Stop it. It's fine. Be a vegetarian. Eat your couscous and all your whatever else it is. I tell you what, I went to the football the other day and I had an aubergine panorama, and I'll tell you what, beautiful, right? It was beautiful, absolutely lovely. Vegetarian option, right? But it was lovely, and it was really, really nice. And you know what? I was that nice. I had a second one, right?
Yep.
And it was lovely, right? And brilliant. But I didn't see that dressed up as a fucking hamburger. Right? It was an aubergine cut in a slice, and a nice bit of cheese over it in a sauce, in a tomato-based sauce. And you know what? It was bloody lovely. Right? It was absolutely lovely. But you don't see that being dressed up as a fucking burger. Right? And they don't advertise it as an aubergine burger. Right? It was an aubergine, cheese, and a tomato sauce. And it was bob on, and it was really nice. There are loads of plant-based stuff that is nice. I'm not going to say that. But don't dress it up to be something that's meat. You don't need to do that. Just leave it as it is, as nature intended. You want to eat corn? Get a fucking stub of it like they do in KFC. Right? You can eat it off the corn on the cob. You can look like a fucking rabbit eating it. Right? No issues with it. But don't you fucking dare sit there making plant-based burgers because you feel that you're going to have to fit in with everybody else. Nobody cares. Right? No meat eater cares. We're not going to eat your burger shit. Right? You can have it yourself. Put it in a burger shape by all means, but don't call it a fucking burger. It ain't a burger.
So yeah, but I mean, you've got there are other restaurants as we mentioned. But...
Fuck off, right? Because if you're going to mention Greg's with their vegan sausage roll, which should never be called a sausage roll, right?
Yeah.
Because a sausage is fucking meat, right? It should be a vegan roll, right? That's all they have to call it. Could have called it whatever the fuck else they want, but why name it a sausage roll? Oh, I don't know, because it looks like a sausage roll. Don't confuse the fucking poor punters. Because you've got people out there that admit it and go, oh, I love that, it's a fucking sausage roll, even though the pastry's a different colour, right? You confuse you, and then you're just programming people. No. I have no problem with people eating vegetarian food. Just don't disguise it as meat. There's no need for it. No need at all. And I'm going to have every fucking vegetarian having a pop at me now.
I know.
You're victimising us. No, I'm not. I couldn't care fucking less. Right? But you don't see me sat there going, here, do you want a lamb chop? I'm just going to dress it up as a carrot.
I had a nice blue cheese and mushroom sauce once. That was really nice.
It was that nice you didn't have it a second time.
Oh, no. I think I don't have it a second time. See, I like blue cheese, melted, but as eaten as a block, I don't like it.
Now, blue cheese.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely. No, blue cheese and mushrooms.
No, I'd like deep fried mushrooms. I'll eat a deep fried mushroom.
Oh, yeah, garlic mushrooms.
Yeah.
As he stuck in his face.
Oh, but you don't see anybody mentioning the fact that that could be a chicken nugget dressed as a mushroom, do you? Oh, no, we don't do that.
Well, yeah, burgers that were dressed up as horses. Well, no, horses dressed up as burgers, wasn't it? Yeah.
Fucking hell, mate.
You know, like how restaurants are doing a vegan option, and yeah, it may be, you know, like.
I have no problem with it, but you don't have to dress it up to look like a meat dish.
Well, it's just plant-based shaped in a burger form. It doesn't say beef burger, does it?
That's just plant burger.
So it's a plant in a burger bun. Well, I'm going to defend slightly here. It's not because I know it's going to wind you up even more.
No! No. Anyway, we were on this podcast for an hour and 20 fucking minutes. How the hell have we managed to do that?
Because we can talk about shit and still get away with it.
I'm hoping everybody's just turned off by now.
Well, I think they would have just, hopefully, they got to the end because they just want to know what we were about. But we've had our events, we've had our so, but I'm creaking a roll here. It's not me, it's the actual chair.
You're a lying bastard.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I can't say that.
No, that's it. You've offended everybody else now.
Can't say that. You're not allowed to say someone's fat anymore, even though I am.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I've got to admit. I do feel sorry for my current missus because I'm a fat, overweight lump, and which is hence why I'm trying to do the sport. And actually, more importantly, why I sit in goal because I'm that big. I fill the goal up.
Wait though.
Yeah, I had. I managed to find it again. You know, when somebody says to me, "Oh, you've lost a fair few pounds," you have. Yeah, don't worry. I found it in my pocket the other day. Put it out. There it was. Yeah, I've got to admit it. Yeah. Yes. Well, in the space of an hour and 22 minutes, we've managed to go from mentioning how the world is suddenly becoming unsure of where it stands with the gender situation.
Yep.
We've spoken about which is your hot topic. We've managed to talk about other bits and pieces. Oh, look there! There's the woman.
We have a guest down.
There's the woman there that saved my life. I love the fact that she's just said. Did you actually hear that?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh right, that's all right then, because she's just basically turned around and said that she's made my life more stressful. And to be honest, she's not fucking wrong.
I think
but
from that, that news report that was doing his movies, interview on the news, and these kids come in, and the wife comes running in.
Yeah. It's not what. Yeah, I'm glad this ain't a video one. Put it that way, because otherwise you'd have just seen her poke her head through and go, "What the fuck?"
That was doing one of those stumbles and
yeah.
There's no filter on this channel. I do apologise now if we didn't mention that.
Well, we should have apologised to the start. We should put that as a warning at the start. Please note that there is swearing in this, and there is adult themes.
I think you can do that at the end.
Oh, right, do we? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can, when you upload it, you can put that it's explicit in places.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if we should add that bit on or not, but yeah, as I say, I think that I think we should certainly bring this one to a close.
Yeah.
Towards the end of this, I think that we've got some topics to think about for the next Ginger's Man Club, by the sounds of this. Ginger's Man Bar, Pub Ginger Man Club. I don't know. We'll have to think of a proper name for this.
Well, one beard and one isn't. I'm jealous that you've got more of a beard and more hair than me, but I mean, my hair's receding.
Oh, mate, honestly, I got told by the missus that I've got a bald spot appearing, and to make sure that I look as young as she does, which I can't do, she's decided to give me this shampoo that apparently reignites my hair.
No,
so for some other problems that men have, the hair growing like remember those Play-Doh models that used to press and used to come out as string. That's my face, but my hair is suddenly gone. You know what? I've been with you for 40 years.
I'm not going to funny. You mentioned about Play-Doh. I'm looking at that building and picturing you one of the people on Guess Who.
Yeah. Oh, I just need some glasses on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just certainly get some hair transplant. I think then get my teeth done.
Oh no! This thing I've got. What I'm meant to be using is meant to have this German stuff. It begins with A. I can't remember. Somebody will say it as well. I'm talking about it, and I'll clap my hands. Well done, you got it right. Oh yeah, hang on. I'll see if I can find that. Hang on a minute. Did you get that right? Oh, I can't even press the media button here. Here we go. Did you get that right? Well done. See, this is why you should do this side of the business and not me.
It's not the next one anyway, but yeah, so you're not the technical sort of side of things, are you? But that's.
There you go.
Well, that'll be the first and the last time that you'll ever give me the clap. So that's there you go.
No, I'm just hovering over them, and you say that, and you say, oh, "I love that." We need a producer.
I think we'll have to do work out after the first 10 minutes.
Some sound of it goes.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I can't wait for the next one now.
I can't. It's been a long time coming, this, I think.
I think this might be the longest one. I think we said that we stick it to an hour or 30 minutes to do 4.
Well, it's the first one, so yeah.
First one, we fucked that idea off the window, haven't we? Right. Anyway, it was good to see you, Adam. Fantastic to see us. And next time, we'll see if we can get somebody on there that can add a bit of flavour. I'm now being summoned by Her Majesty. If you give me 2 minutes, I'm going to see if I can pause this, but I don't think I can. So let's do this traditionally. Yes, dear. Brilliant. You know this is live, yeah?
Totally unscripted, this. Unscripted.
She just looked at me basically and went, I don't fucking care.
So it is unscripted. There is no filter.
What's the script?
Oh dear me.
I love it. I can mark a clip apparently on here. You know what? You're just showing exactly I do not have a fucking clue what I'm doing on here. But there's even a transition number. Here we are. Ooh. And on other news. Thank you, Riverside, for this. There was obviously other podcasts available.
Yeah.
Yes. No, brilliant. Thank you for your time, man. It's
been
an interesting evening.
It has. Entertaining, up and down.
And we will catch you on the next podcast.
In a week's time.
We might even have something. We might even have something along the lines of, I don't know, a sponsor maybe. Yeah, sponsored by my underwear. Anyway, right. Good to see you, Adam. You take care. Everyone out there in the podcast world that's been listening to this, if you got this far, well done. You deserve a round of applause. Get there eventually. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, look forward to the next podcast. Don't know when it's going to be, but don't put us on a subscribe button just yet. There might not be another one yet.
There will be. It's very modest.
Anyway, you all take care in the world out there. Have a great day, great evening, great morning, great afternoon, and great night if you're even on a night shift. Yep. You take care, and you can always listen to Adam on his radio show in the FM world.
I shall mention that on the next podcast on when I am back on the airwaves. But yes, Humble Wave Radio is where I will be. It is online. It is on DAB and FM. But for those that are not in the Hull area, you will have to listen to it online. So it's a good afternoon, good evening, and good night from myself.
And a good afternoon, good night, and good evening from him.
Yes.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to us at the Ginger's Man Club. Remember, you can interact with us on all the socials and get involved. We look forward to you joining us next time. Bye for now.